Bhaktir Bhauti Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 14, text number 42-43. Ditir Vacha Vadam Bhagavata Sakshat Vadam Bhagavata Sakshat Sunaba Udhara Bahuna Sunabhodhara Bahuna Ashashe Putrayaha Mahyam Ashashe Putrayor Mahyam Ma Kruddhat Brahmanat Prabho Ma Kruddhat Brahmanat Prabho Ditir Vacha Vadam Bhagavata Sakshat Sunabhodhara Bahuna Ashashe Putrayor Mahyam Ma Kruddhat Brahmanat Prabho Ditir Vacha Vadam Bhagavata Sakshat Sunabhodhara Bahuna Ashashe Putrayor Mahyam Ma Kruddhat Brahmanat Prabho Ditiruvacha. Diti said, Vadam, the killing, Bhagavata, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sakshat, directly, Sunaba, with his Sudarśana weapon, Udara, very magnanimous, Bahuna, by the arms, Ashashe, I desire, Putrayoho, of the sons, Mahyam, of mine, Ma, never be it so, Kruddhat, by the rage, Brahmanat, of the Brahmanas, Prabho, O my husband. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Diti said, it is very good that my sons will be magnanimously killed by the arms of the Personality of Godhead with his Sudarśana weapon. O my husband, may they never be killed by the wrath of the Brahmana devotees. Please repeat the translation. Diti said, it is very good that my sons will be magnanimously killed by the arms of the Personality of Godhead with his Sudarśana weapon. O my husband, may they never be killed by the wrath of the Brahmana devotees. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When Diti heard from her husband that the great souls would be angered by the activities of her sons, she was very anxious. She thought that her sons might be killed by the wrath of the Brahmanas. The Lord does not appear when the Brahmanas become angry at someone, because the wrath of a Brahmana is sufficient in itself. He certainly appears, however, when his devotee simply becomes sorry. A devotee of the Lord never prays to the Lord to appear for the sake of the troubles the miscreants cause for him, and he never bothers him by asking for protection. Rather, the Lord is anxious to give protection to the devotees. Diti knew well that the killing of her sons by the Lord would also be his mercy, and therefore she says that the will and the arms of the Lord are magnanimous. If someone is killed by the will of the Lord and is thus fortunate enough to see the arms of the Lord, that is sufficient for his liberation. Such good fortune is not achieved even by the great sages. Next verse I will recite myself. Na brahmadanda dagdasya na bhuta bhaya dayasya cha narakascha anugrananti yam yam yonim asogataha. A person who is condemned by a brāhmaṇa or is always fearful to other living entities is not favored either by those who are already in hell or by those in the species in which he is born. Purport. A practical example of a condemned species of life is the dog. Dogs are so condemned that they never show any sympathy to their contemporaries. Doesn't say Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurum militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Vishadne Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, after understanding the mode of Kashyapa Muni, what will be the consequences of her sons? So, she was praying to Kashyapa Muni by saying, Diti Ruvacha, Vadam Bhagavata Sakshat. Vadam, they are being killed, Sakshat Bhagavataha, by the personality of Godhead. Sunaba Udara Bahuna, the Lord who is very magnanimous, by his own arms with his Sudarśana disc, Vadam, he is going to kill. Whom is he going to kill? Ashashe Putrayor Mahyam. I desire that, this is my desire. What? Putrayo, my sons, Mahyam, should be killed directly by the Lord. Ma Kruddat Brahmanat Prabhu. I do not desire or never I wanted my sons to be killed by the wrath of the Brahmanas. So why she is expecting them to be killed by the Lord rather than by the wrath of the Brahmanas? Prabhupada explains in the purport there. The Lord does not appear when the Brahmanas become angry at someone because the wrath of a Brahmana is sufficient in itself. So if Brahmana becomes very angry, the Brahma Shapa, if he gives that Shapa, that itself is sufficient to kill a person. So he certainly appears when his devotee simply becomes sorry. So when does the Lord appear? When the devotee feels compassion for the person who is troubling him. The devotees do not take the faults of others or injuries of others so seriously. They take it, this is tattyanukampa, I am suffering because of my karma. This is what Lord had sanctioned upon me. So if someone is killed by the will of the Lord and is thus fortunate enough to see the arms of the Lord, this is sufficient for his liberation. Because anything in touch with the Lord, he becomes purified of his consciousness. And because the Lord either mercy by killing him or blessing him is either way the same. Because he was killed by the Lord, he automatically gets promoted to the spiritual world. At least he becomes transcendental to this material world. He either might join the Sahyajya Mukti or depends upon his consciousness. If he is appreciative of the Lord's form, he might enter into Vaikuntha. Most of the demons what Vishnu had killed, they all got only Sahyajya Mukti. They all entered into impersonal liberation. But only some exceptional people were there. When Krishna came, he gave them Vaikuntha opportunity. Anybody, can you understand who got that Vaikuntha opportunity? Putana, she got Goloka opportunity. It is much more. Krishna granted her the mother's position, like a servant to Mother Yashoda, a Dhatri, nurse. She was promoted to, she got posted to Goloka Vrindavana. The two more demons are there, Putana's brothers. Agasura, Bakasura. Most of the demons, what happens? Krishna will kill them. But here, Agasura and Bakasura, Krishna had entered into their body first. Agasura, he went inside the stomach. So he opened the stomach and he came out. Bakasura also swallowed the Lord. and Lord came out by breaking his the beaks. So these two demons were given Vaikuntha opportunity. But rest, most of them got only impersonal liberation. So if the Lord is satisfied with a devotee, even his family members will get the highest opposition. Because Lord is satisfied with Putana, his family members also got the highest benefit. So here, a devotee of the Lord never prays to the Lord to appear for the sake of removing troubles the miscreants cause for him, and he never bothers him by asking for protection. The Lord feels anxious for his devotee. Because devotee does not want Lord to come and simply wait for him. All these are insignificant things for the devotee. They do not consider them because they are thinking this is the sanction of the Lord. They treat everything by the will of the Lord. Adrishta lava santushtaha. Whatever comes, either happiness or distress, they take it as mercy of the Lord. They are satisfied with whatever accord they get by the will of the Lord. So, and in the next verse, what happens if they are killed by brāhmaṇas? Diti is expressing her concern also. If they are killed by brāhmaṇas, she is saying, Na brahmadanda dagdasya. For those who are killed by brahmadanda, the curse of the brāhmaṇas, Na bhuta bayadasya cha, or those who are fearful to other living entities because of their activities, if they torture other living entities, if they become fearful for the other living entities, Narakasya anugrahananti. Even the people in Naraka will not show compassion for these people. Yam yam yonim asogataha. Even the species in which they take birth, even they are not favored by the other living entities whom they are their contemporaries. So this is, Prabhupada gives one example of a dog. A dog is a condemned species. So in such a way that one dog, if it is little injured, other dogs might fight with him and torture him even more. Very few places that dogs show compassion to other dogs, it is mentioned. Because that's a condemned species. That birth itself is because of their sinful activities. So, two perspectives we have to understand. Brahmanas are great devotees, are Vaisnavas. So if they are offended, what happens? Now, who is a Brahmana? Who is a Vaishnava? How do we understand? Who are great personalities? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had revealed there are three types of Vaishnavas in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, Atayeva yaramukhe eka Krishna nama seita Vaishnavatara karaha sammana. If one chants the holy name of Krishna even once, he is a Vaishnava. Therefore, you should show him all respects to him. The next verse says, Krishna nama nirantara yanhara vadane say Vaishnavatara bhaja tahara charane. So those who chant holy name of the Lord incessantly, continuously, so and one should render service to his feet. So these are Vaishnavatara. These are the second grade Vaishnava. These are superior Vaishnava. Yanhara darshane mukhe I say Krishna nama. If by seeing somebody else, a great personality, in your mouth automatically Krishna nama is coming. Tanhara janiha tumi Vaishnava pradana. You should understand he is the greatest Vaishnava. Krama kari kahe Prabhu Vaishnava lakshana Vaishnavatara ara Vaishnavatama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the gradations of Vaishnavas and their qualities. Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara, Vaishnavatama. In that way, Lord elaborated on these perspectives. So we should know, like neophyte, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. This is what differentiation what we understand. Now, who is this Vaishnava? What are his qualities? He further elaborates. Sarva Maha Guna Gana Vaishnava Sharire. All great qualities exist in the body of a Vaishnava. Krishna Bhakte Krishnera Guna Sakali Sanchare. So, all the qualities of Krishna manifest in his bodies. Vidhi Dharma Chadi Bhaje Krishnera Charana Nishiddha Papachare Tara Kabu Nahe Mana. A Vaishnava, we may neglect all regulative principles, Vidhi Dharma. He worships Krishna's lotus feet. For him, that is the only shelter. Thus, his mind is never tainted by the desire to perform sinful activities. His mind is not carried away by sinful tendencies. Ajnane va haya yadi papa upastita Krishna tanre shuddha kare na karaye prayashitta. Somehow, if a Vaishnava performs some sinful activities, Krishna purifies him. Ajnana, because of not consciously doing, it is out of unconscious attitude, accidental thing. If he commits a sinful activity, Krishna purifies him, and the devotee does not have to go through any type of ritual atonement. Because the sincerity, if he begs for the Lord for forgiveness sincerely and he says, my dear Lord, I will not repeat this once again. See the mood and mentality. Most of the times we go to the Lord, we say, my dear Lord, please excuse me. But we repeat that mentality again. It is like Kunjara Sauchavat, an elephant taking bath. If that is the attitude, it is like exploiting the Lord's grace. But if you, with wholeheartedness, you pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, I will not repeat this mistake, and you commit by that word, Lord says you are purified. That attitude itself is purification. Jnana vairagyadi bhaktira kabuna he anga ahimsa yama niyamadi bhule Krishna bhakta sangha. So jnana vairagya are not limbs of bhakti. Non-violence, control over the mind and senses automatically follow a devotee of Krishna. This is what happens when you become a great devotee. All these things will automatically become equipped by the devotee. If you read in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there are 20 items of knowledge what Krishna says. In that specifically Krishna says, Prabhupada writes in that purport, 2 qualities are very important. Acharya pasanam, then one more is Ananya Bhakti Yogena. So these 2 qualities, serving the spiritual master and engaging in unalloyed devotional service of the Lord. If you have these 2 qualities, the rest 18 qualities are automatically bestowed upon the devotee. We may have the other 18 qualities. If you do not have these 2 qualities, they are of no use. Like yesterday, like day before yesterday's class also, Bilva Mangal Thakur was praying, Mukti Mukatanjali Sevate Asman Dharmartha Kama Samaya Pratiksha. Dharmartha Kama Mokshan Samaya Pratiksha. So when a devotee becomes so sincere, Mukti personified is standing at his doorstep with folded hands, and she is saying, how can I serve you? She is waiting for the command of the devotee, how to serve him. What to speak of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which are insignificant when compared to Mukti. They automatically follow the devotee. So for him, he need not separately endeavor for these qualities. Because of his sincere devotional service, Lord bestows him all the good qualities. What are standard with are present in the Lord will be manifested in the body of the devotee. Asat Sangha Tyagi e Vaishnavachar Stri Sangi ek asadu Krishna Bhakta ara. So Asat Sangha Tyagi, he avoids association, unwanted association. Those what is that unwanted association? Stri Sangi, asadu, abhakta ara. One who is not a devotee, one who is too much interested in opposite sex. So these 2 categories of people, the devotee would like to not associate with them. And further, some precautionary measure also in Nama Tattva Ratnamala it says, Prag Bhakte Rudhyat Dosha Kshaya Vashishta Evacha Daivotpannascha Bhaktanam Naivalochaya Kadachana Shad Uddeshyamrute Yastu Mrunapavadam Evacha Doshana Lochayat Eva Issa Sadhu Nindako Adamaha. Some precautions were given to us, what we should do, what we should follow. So one should not consider the faults of a devotee, especially those impurities that were manifest before he becoming a devotee. See, because before we came to devotional service, there are many things which we had been doing in the past life, in Purvashrama. So we should not count on the Purvashrama qualities. We should not judge now. Or when the devotee started practicing devotional service, whatever some residue impurities are there which are becoming purified, which we should not comment upon them. Nor accidentally, if by chance, which may appear in the body of a devotee in future because of some unexpected thing, we should not become considerate about that, we should not talk about that. By chance, if we start focusing on these qualities which appeared which were there before the past of his devotion, which were there in the continuation of his devotion, or which will manifest in future of his devotion, we become an offender of a Vaishnava. And further it says, Srimad Bhagavatam, we see two examples in Bhagavatam. One was Vena, who offended the Brahmanas there. So Brahmanas became so severe. Did Lord appear there? What happened? Brahmanas cursed. By the curse itself, Vena was dead. So what happens the problem when killed by the Lord to killed by the Brahmanas? What was the destination of Vena? Where did he go? He went to Naraka. He had to suffer in Naraka for so many years. Otherwise, if they would have been killed by the Lord, what would be the destination? They'll become liberated. They'll go to at least Brahmajyoti. So here it is said, in the verse it is saying, that's why Diti is praying, I don't want my sons to be killed by Brahmanas. Because if they are killed by the Brahmanas, they are lost in the cycle of birth and death. There is no retrieval for them. But if they are killed by the Lord's arms, automatically they achieve at least liberation. They get a higher destination. And the second example what we get was Daksha, who had offended Lord Shiva. In an open assembly, he criticized the behavior of Lord Shiva. So Sati, when she came back, she was explaining the consequences of offending great personalities. She says, Nascharyam etad yad asatsu sarvada mahat vininda kunapatma vadishu Shreshya Mahapurusha Pada Pamshubir Nirashta Tejashu Tadeva Shobanam. He's saying, Na Ascharya Metad. It is not wonderful. Kunapa Atma Vyadishu. For those who have accepted this body as the self itself. For those who are conditioned souls who have accepted this body is itself. I am this body. Mahat Vininda, to engage always in self in deriding the great souls. Because those who are bodily conscious, yes, they think others also as bodily conscious. And they start acting on the bodily platform. So automatically they criticize the Vaishnavas to the bodily platform. Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki. Shreshyam Tadeva Shobanam. Such envy on the part of a materialistic person is very good. Why? Because yes, asassu sarvada. That is the way they fall down. Nirashta tejashu mahapurusha pada pamshabihi. They are diminished by the dust of the feet of great personalities. Because by offending the great personalities, they are automatically lost into this oblivion. They fall down from their position. What will be their fall down? What and all will they lose? In Hari Bhakti Vilasa it says, these are all quoted in one of the purports. When Haridas Thakura was offended by some of the people, in that purports wise Prabhupada refers all these quotes by Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, which he had quoted in. There was one argument by Vaishnava brāhmaṇa. Who is a Vaishnava, who is a Brahmana? In that, some documentation has been given by Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So most of that quotations appear from that perspective there. So Hari Bhakti Vilasa, this is stated, for blaspheming a Vaishnava, Yohi Bhagavatam Lokam Upahasam Nrupottama Karoti Tasya Nashyanti Artha Dharma Yasha Shtutaha Nindam Kurvanti Ye Muda Vaishnavana Mahatmanam Patanti Pitirbir Shaddam Maha Raurava Samgite Hanti Nindanti Vaidveshti Vaishnavan Nabinandati Hrudyate Yati No Harsham Darshane Patanani Sat Purvam Krutva tu Sammanam Avajjam Kurute tu Yaha Vaishnavana Mahapala Sanvayo Yati Sankshayam. He's saying, my dear Nripatmaja, my dear king, Yohi Bhagavatam Lokam Upahasam. Those who deride a Vaishnava, great personalities, Karoti Tasya Nashyanti. All these qualities will be lost in him. What and all? Artha, his money will be gone. Dharma, his religiosity will be gone. Yashaha, his name will be gone. Sutaha, and his sons will be gone. All these things will be perished. Nindam karuvanti ye muda Vaishnavana Mahatmanam patanti piturbi shardam. Maha Raurava Samyite. For those who offend the Vaishnavas, they become fallen into the Maha Raurava hell. And not only he falls down, because of his sinful tendency, his entire forefathers will also fall into the Maha Raurava hell. Anti Nindanti by Dveshti. Those who kill or blaspheme a Vaishnava, or those who are envious of a Vaishnava, or those who are angry with a Vaishnava, and whoever does not offer obeisances or feel joy upon seeing a Vaishnava, certainly falls down into a hellish condition. O ruler of the world, one who first accepts a Vaishnava and then later insults him is vanquished along with his family. Initially you may accept him, but later you start criticizing him, again we will be lost along with our family members. Like for example, Daksha offended. Now somebody supported Daksha also there. How? Somebody laughed when Daksha was cursing. Somebody, like different symptoms they had shown. Even they got punished. See, offending and supporting. Somebody, Daksha was an offender. The others encouraged or supported Daksha. Even they all got punished. Daksha got the highest punishment. These people got the equivalent punishment of their attitude. So we have to be very careful. And further it says, Janma prabhuti yat kinchit sukrutam samuparjitam nasham ayati tat sarvam pidayet yadi Vaishnavan. So, pidayet yadi Vaishnava, if somebody tortures a Vaishnava, so Janma prabhuti ya kinchit, whatever punya he had earned by many lifetimes, or whatever he has earned in his entire life, nasham ayati tat sarvam, everything will be lost. Whatever punya he has earned, everything is zero. Karapatraischa palayante sutivrer yamashashanai nindam kuruvanti ye papa Vaishnavanam Mahatmanam. So those sinful people who blaspheme Vaishnavas, who are all great souls, are subjected very severely to the punishment offered by Yamaraja. So if somebody offends a Vaishnava, he is booking his permanent residentialship in Yamaloka. Pujito Bhagavan Vishnur Janma Janmantar Shaterapi Prasidati na Vishwatma Vaishnave cha Apamanite. The person who has criticized a Vaishnava, such sinners, even if they worship Lord Vishnu for hundreds of births, with such insulters of Vaishnava, the Lord does not be happy. It is like, I worship Lord Vishnu but I offend Vaishnavas. Lord will not accept my service. Ye nindanti hrushikesham tadbhaktam punya rupinam shata janmarjitanam punyam tesham nashyati nishitam te paschyante mahagore kumbipake bhayanake bhakshita kita sangena yavat chandra divakaro Shri Vishnor avamanat gurutaram Shri Vaishnava ullanganam. Those who criticize Vishnu or a Vaishnava lose all benefits secured in 100 pious births. They rot in Kumbhipaka hell and are bitten by worms as long as sun and moon exist in this universe. So one should not therefore even see the face of persons who blaspheme Vishnu and his devotees and never try to associate with such persons. Nindam Bhagavataha Shunmams Tat Parasya Janasya Va Tato Napayiti Yah Sopi Yati Ada Sukrutat Shutaha. This is from Bhagavatam. Who does not immediately leave upon hearing the Lord or the Lord's devotee blaspheme, he falls down from devotional service. If somebody is criticizing a Vaishnava, so what we should do there? Should I listen there? What should I do there? So there are some practices given. Then Sati explains. Karno pidaya nirayat yad akalpa ishe. If somebody is blaspheming, you should block your ears. Second, dharma vitari arshnibir nibir asyamane. If you are capable enough, cut off his tongue. Kill that person. Third one, Chindayat prasahya rushitam asatim prabhushet jihva nasunapi tato visarjayat sadharmaha. Or if you because other person is a brāhmaṇa, you cannot kill a brāhmaṇa. Brahma hatya is mahagora. So then you leave from that place immediately. But if you stand there, you are losing your personality. Means you are supporting that activity. If one hears an irresponsible person blaspheme the master and the controller of religion, Ashrunabir Nubir Asyamane Ishe Dharmavitari Karno Pidaya, one should block his ears. Nirayad yat akalpa, go away if he is unable to punish him. But Prabhushya Dharmaha, but if one is able to kill, Chindayat prasahya rushatim asatim ched jihvam, one should immediately cut off the tongue of that person who has blasphemed the devotee and kill the offender. And after that, one should give up one's own life. Asunapi tato visarjaya. You kill that person, later we should also sacrifice our life. So these three things. So we see, this is what if you do a Vaishnavan, if you hear a Vaishnavan in what we should do. So then what is the process for us to associate with a Vaishnava? Vaishnavo Vaishnavanam društva dandavat pranamed bhuvi. So when one Vaishnava sees another Vaishnava who has come from a different place, we offer dandavats to each other. Because Ubayor antara Vishnuhu Shanka Chakra Gadadharha. Because Lord Vishnu is there between both of them. By holding the four weapons, Shanka Chakra Gadadharha. By offering respect to each other, they are offering respects to Vaishnava, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. Even Ramanujacharya, in his instructions, the last instruction what he has given to his devotees, Prapannamrita, this is the last instruction he says, Srimad Bhagavatarchanam Bhagavataha Puja Vider Uttamam. The worshipping of the Lord as per devotional service is the highest, Pancharatrika Vidhi. Sri Vishnavor Avamanat Gurutaram Sri Vaishnava Ullanganam. Blaspheming of Guru or the blaspheming of Vishnu is to blaspheming of a Vaishnava is so severe. Tirdat Achyuta Padajat Gurutaram Tirdat Tadiyangrijam Tasman Nityam Atantrito Bhavasatam Tesham Samaradane. The principal rule in worshipping Bhagavan is the worship of the Vaishnavas. Abusing a Vaishnava is more serious than insulting Vishnu. The water that has washed the feet of a Vaishnava is greater than the water that has bathed the feet of Vishnu. Knowing such, you should endeavor to worship the Vaishnavas without any reservation. So he is saying Vaishnavas are the greatest personality. So we should first opportunities to serve Vaishnavas. So in Chaitanya Bhagavata, it is said on Vaishnava Aparadha, Yata papahaya praja janera himsile tara shatakuna haya Vaishnava nindile. If it is 100 times more sinful to blaspheme a Vaishnava than to be envious of ordinary living entities. Shraddha kari murti puja bhakta na adhare murka nicha pati tere daya nahi kare ek avathara baje na bhajaye ara Krishna Raghunatha kare bhedera vyavahara Balarama Shiva prati prita nahi kare bhaktadama shastre kahe yehi sabha jane. So those who faithfully worship the deity form of the Lord but do not respect his devotees, those who do not show compassion to those who are foolish, wretched and fallen, those who worship one incarnation and do not worship other incarnations, and those who distinguish between Krishna and Rama, those who do not love Balarama and Shiva, according to Shastras, are the lowest of the creatures. This is one kind of Vaishnava Aparadha. Ye papista Vaishnavera jati buddhi kare, shatajanma adama yonite dubi mare. So a sinful person who considers Vaishnavas belong to a particular caste suffers in the lowest species of life, birth after birth. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see one more personality who is an offender of a Vaishnava. He is known as Gopal Shapal. In relation, he is uncle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, in Gramya Vyavahar, everybody used to call each other by some relation. So he is like an uncle, like Sachi Mata's brother, Mama. So he is a Shakta worshipper. worshipper of Devi. So there was always this tug of war between Vaishnavas and Shaktas. Shaktas feel they are superior, Vaishnavas are inferior. Vaishnavas never compare with others. With Vaishnavas, they don't even bother for the Shaktas and all. So always they would like, whenever a Vaishnava becomes prominent, he becomes known, the Shaktas could not tolerate. They somehow wanted to put down the value of Vaishnavas. So such is this Gopal Chapal. Ekadana Vipranama Gopala Chapala Pashandi Pradana se Durmukha Vachala. So he is Pashandi Pradana, he is atheist number one, he is Durmukha, bad mouth, Vachala, and he is very talkative, very rough in his speech. Bhavani Pujara Sabha Samagri Lana Ratre Srivasera Dware Sthana Lepana. So he bought all the materials which are used in the worship of Devi and he arranged them at the doorstep of Shiva's Pandit. So Shiva's Pandit, next day morning when he got up, he saw all these worshipable items like Rakta Chandana, some Kumkum, all these things which are mentally used for Devi worship. Then he called all the people in the neighboring hood and he said, please understand from today that I have been behaving like a Vaishnava, but you know my true nature, this is my nature. I am a Shakta from insider. I have been worshipping Shakta, but externally I am behaving like a Vaishnava. Then all the people there, they said, no, sorry sir, please forgive us. This is some misuse, some person has done this. We'll get it clean. They immediately called some sweeper, cleaned that area, sprinkled with cow dung and cow urine and purified that entire area. They said, you are the greatest Vaishnava, we know. Somebody had played prank on you. We see that such things does not happen again. We know that you are a pure Vaishnava. After this incident, what happened? Tīne dina rahi se Gopala Chapala sarvange haila kushta vahe rakta dara. After 3 days, Gopal Chapal, when he offended Shiva's Pandit, his entire body became leprosy, kushtavyadi, and blood started oozing out of that wounds. Sarvange bedila kite kate nirantara asahya vedana dukke jwalaya antara. So that worms are biting him, he was feeling that pain. He was unbearable pain. His body started burning in distress. Ganga gate vrikshatale rahe ta vashiya ek dina bole kichu prabhu ke dekiya. One day when he saw near the bank of Ganges, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He started speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gramya sambandhe ami tomara batula. In a Grami Vyavahara, I am your maternal uncle. Bagina mui kushta vyadite hanachi vyakula. Bagina, my dear, what do you say? Bagina means son of my sister. Nephew, my dear nephew. Mui kushta vyadite. I am suffering from this leprosy. Hanachi vyakula. I am afflicted by this. Lokasabhe uddarite tomar avatara. You have come here to deliver the whole world. Muni bada dukki mora karaha uddara. I am a most sinful man. Please deliver me. Etasuni Mahaprabhu haila kruddamana krodavesha bole tare tarjana vachana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry. In that angry mood, he scolded him by saying, Ara papi bhakta dveshi torana uddarimu. You are a bhakta dveshi. I will not deliver you. Koti janma eimate kidaye kayoyimu. For crores of lives, you have to suffer like this. That these insects will have to eat and torture you. Srivase karili tumi bhavani pujana koti janma hobe tora raurave palana. Because you have shown Shiva's Pandit like a Bhavani Puja, Shakta worshipper, for that, for a crore of years, you have to stay in a hell called Raurava. Pashanti samharite mora e avatara. Pashanti samhari bhakti karimu prachara. I have appeared in this incarnation to kill the demons, and after killing them, to preach the cult of devotional service. Eta boli gela Prabhu karite ganga snana, sei papi dukkha bhoge nayaya parana. So he started suffering more and more, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went away to take his bath. But he did not give up his life, and he started suffering that sinful activity. Sannyasa kariya yabe Prabhu nilachale gela, taha haite yabe kuliya grame aila. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he accepted sannyasa, when he came back again, so this time when he came to Kuliya Grama, tabe se papi Prabhura laila sharana, hita upadesha kaila hoya karuna. This time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became compassionate and he gave him instructions what to do. श्रीवास पंडितेर स्थान आचे अपराध ताता यह तेन हो यदि करेन प्रसाद तबे तोर हबे ये पाप विमोचन यदि पुनः ऐचे नाही करा आचारण. Said go to Srivas Pandit and beg forgiveness from him. If he forgives him, then you will become free from this sinful tendency. But once you become free, never again repeat this mistake. Tabe vipra laila asi Srivasa Sharana Tanhara Krupai Kaila Papa Vimochana. So immediately when he came and fell down at the feet of Srivas Pandit, so he immediately mercifully blessed him and removed him from that sinful activity. Kuliya Grame Haila Devanandera Prasada Gopala Viprera Kshamaila Srivasa Aparada. The specific acts performed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time were he showing favor to Devananda Pandit and excusing the Brahmana known as Gopala Chapala from the offense he has committed at the lotus feet of Srivas Thakur. Pashanti Nindaka Asi Padila Charane Aparada Kshamitara Dila Krishna Premi. All these offenders, all these atheists, when they fell down at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet and begged forgiveness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed them and gave them Krishna Prema as their return gift. So in that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercifully granted them an opportunity of purification. So, if we offend a Vaishnava, there is no light for us in that tunnel. We are going into a dead end. There is no other opportunity. So, we have to be very careful. That's what Diti is praying, that her sons not become the offenders of the Vaishnavas, rather they become killed by the harms of the Vishnu, which is more magnanimous. So, we'll understand more of these details in the further verses. Thank you. If any questions or doubts.
Like we were talking like offending a brāhmaṇa or Vaishnava will be having certain impacts. But nowadays we don't see all those. It seems like some superficial we are trying to impose and tell people to make them fear. I think like in order to create fear in people, that's why the brāhmaṇas and pandits will use these words. So in that context, what we see.
See, one thing is, that's why we have to understand who is a qualified devotee. First, qualities have been enumerated. If we represent that qualities, we become that highest quality of the devotee, Brahmana and Vaishnava. But now what happened in Kali Yuga, the first thing what happened is the deterioration of the families have happened. It has become birthright. Even though we are not qualified, we claim so and so. So they started exploiting people by what you said, like it's like a blackmailing. But if really somebody offends a Vaishnava, then automatically they are lost into this world. I'll just give one story. You would have heard about this story. Even materially, if some personality who is a rich personality, if he is offended, what will happen? There was one Nawab of Hyderabad in 1940s or 1950s. So he went to Britain. When he was in London, as a common man, he visited one Rolls Royce showroom. He wanted to purchase a Rolls Royce car. So when he went there, they did not even entertain him. Because if you have to purchase a Rolls Royce, you should be a top of an state administrator, you should be very rich man, or you should be from a prince lineage. The car is sold only to specific category of people. They did not even entertain him. They disrespected him and they sent him back. So he went away. He went back to his hotel and dressed himself like a Nawab. At this time, with his full entourage, he visited the showroom. So they royally invited him, and he immediately purchased all the 6 cars which are available there, and he transported them to India. So when he came here, because he was offended by that company, he wanted to take revenge on them. So he used that 6 cars to pick up garbage in the streets of the city. So everywhere the 6 cars were roaming around and they were picking garbage. Over a period of couple of years, Rolls Royce became garbage car. Everywhere around the world, people started treating that Rolls Royce it is garbage car. They are meant for picking up garbages in the street. The sales of Rolls Royce has fallen such a way that company people, they came to India, went to that personality, that Nawab, and they begged forgiveness from him. They said, my dear sir, please forgive us. We have offended you, because of which our company has gone for a doldrum. Rolls Royce has become garbage car. We ask you to stop this picking up of this garbage. And for their offense, they have given 2 more Rolls Royce cars, new cars as a gift. Because they came back to their senses and they begged forgiveness for their disrespecting the Nawab. So Nawab forgave them and took the 2 cars as a gift. See, just materially one personality, a rich personality, a prominent personality, if he became offended, such a big company came down to his footsteps. The reputation was lost. So some things, what I am just saying simple as an example, these we may not observe within our immediate karma basis. But if you offend somebody, automatically you will suffer. How you will suffer, we don't know. Because that is up to the Lord. The devotee does not wish something bad for the opposite person. But because Lord sees that that person gets back what he is supposed to get. So we have to be very careful. Whom are we addressing? And see, it is said that due respect. You should give due respect to everyone. Every living entity deserves respect. So we have to be carefully and discriminatively we have to act. That's what Shastra says. What we have learned from our Acharyas and our senior Vaisnavas. Okay. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133